Welcome, everybody. I am beyond hyped to talk about my boy Deoxys, probably my favorite legendary alongside Genesect. But before I get into literally any of this stuff, I want to quickly say as a disclaimer, if you are new here, to check the description out down below. There is a link to the same Google Sheets that I use in all my videos, and it's super important. You should definitely give it a look. Most importantly, check out the little move sheet guide here on the bottom, and there is every single move, buff, and change in this hack listed out in immense detail. And those are all really important because basically every single move is buffed or changed. So definitely check that out. That being said, we got the GOAT Deoxys, absolute fucking monster. I love him. He is balanced for in-game use. So for example, Deoxys attack is a bit slower. Deoxys base form has much more well-rounded stats. In general, I made their stats a lot more, like, I guess you could say, soulful for their respective forms. You know, Deoxys base form being the most well-rounded. So it was either 80 and then like what 105 and everything, or 80 120 80 120 80 120, and I like that more just because he is still like more offensive than defense or speed. So we have basically two offensive forms, two like utility bulk type forms, and the first two forms have Neuroforce as their like shared ability. I acknowledge that because normally in this ROM hack I optimize abilities so that you can switch between them with ability capsules and both abilities have genuine use. And that, you know, basically every Pokemon kind of has two abilities that they use. But in Deoxys base form's case, Neuroforce is almost never as good as Versatility. Versatility being Protean, which might sound kind of crazy, 120 speed, 120 offenses with Protean and all these moves, but the power levels in attack are so goddamn high that it's really not even that crazy. Not to like, there's things that are much stronger than Deoxys. Not to mention the speed tier, and not to mention Sucker Punch and First Impression TM. So most Pokemon in general get priority, but specifically the TM, meaning it's reteachable, Sucker Punch and First Impression, which basically every fucking, especially First Impression, like probably 70% of the decks has First Impression now. Just teach that to your fucking Pokemon and this thing is dead in one hit. Obviously, if you're in another Psychic terrain or something, it gets pretty crazy, but you know, that takes a little bit of setup and whatever. But point being, it's still very easy to take care of a Deoxys, especially the attack form with the, you know, dive still getting hit. However, it's also really easy to get on the field now because basically every Pokemon has access to some form of switch move, and if they don't, you give them the infinite use eject button and you have an infinite pivot into your Deoxys attack. So for example, a slow parting shot or U-turn or volt switch on a bulky Pokemon into your Deoxys attack will let them get on the field for free and start getting some fucking kills. That being said though, yes, there's two offensive forms, two defensive forms. The defensive forms have Regenerator. That's obviously, I think everybody knows that that fits Deoxys, and you should have had that to begin with. If you read the deck entries, it has like regenerative capabilities and stuff. So that's really fucking sick. So I love how the two utility / defensive forms of Regen. And then Neuroforce is incredible on attack form. Again, it's pretty mid on base form, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles because I wanted to have some consistency between the forms. And then they all have their own unique ability as well. So defense form is insanely tanky with Resilient and Regenerator. He also has access to slow parting shot, so 20 base speed, 80, 180, 180 bulk with parting shot is incredible. You can also run like an assault vest set, which is overkill in my opinion, but you could do that with like Giga Drain or Parabolic Charge or Drain Punch, Volt Switch U-turn, that type of thing. They have so many things to play around with. It would take absolutely forever for me to go through every single little option that they have. So I'm not going to talk about every single little option. You can see they have tons of incredible coverage and setup and all this fun stuff. So again, just check out what all these moves do in the description down below in this move sheet that you can see here. Super important. Definitely give those a look because I'm not going to waste time talking about every move. But yeah, Regen's also great with something like, for example, Psycho Boost and Superpower and Twilight Cannon and Zap Cannon and Hyper Beam and all this stuff, because those moves now drop your attack or special attack by -2. So what you can do is you can click that and then you can regen right on out. So while defense form is insanely bulky, speed form is actually also pretty bulky. So I essentially made it so speed form's offenses are equal to defense form. So while I acknowledge that speed form looks pretty damn frail, it's more for a balancing choice, because if I made Deoxys speed, say 100 offensive, 70 bulk, it would be kind of useless. It would be very situationally viable over base form or attack form. There's two offensive forms, two defensive / utility forms, all right? It's really as simple as that. And so speed needs more bulk to be a better utility Pokemon. So 80, 100, 100 bulk. The beautiful thing about having 180 base speed, which is now the fastest Pokemon in the hack, no contest, it's 10 base speed faster than the second fastest Ninjask. Ignore the formatting. By the way, if you do ever click that sheet and it glitches out like that, just click back on it and it should work out just fine like that. But yeah, Deoxys speed is uncontested the fastest Pokemon in the game. Not to mention it does have speed boost, so what you can do is you can run 0 speed investment with 180 base speed, and you still outspeed basically 80% of the things in the game, probably more. So for example, you hit 396. Obviously, in competitive, that might not be fast enough because there's Choice Scarf and stuff, but in game, the AI does not use Choice Scarf very often just because it's a bad item, because the AI doesn't know how to switch out and abuse it properly. So therefore, you won't be running into too many Choice Scarves. So, you have to worry about priority and stuff, of course, but other than priority moves, Deoxys speed needs no speed investment, and it can outspeed. But it's basically everything. And even if you don't outspeed everything, you can put like 20 EVs into speed and you outspeed most stuff probably. You don't need to ever run max speed unless you're fighting specifically like Excelgor, Ninjask, shit like that, where that's like in the high 160, 150 base speed. But those are uncommon, as you can see from the speed tier guide. So the beautiful thing about Deoxys speed is, despite having 80 less defenses than Deoxys defense, it does have access to that incredible speed stat. So you have like slow bulky utility and fast bulky utility. So it's like they're both supportive and they're both defensive, and they both have regen, which is obviously an incredible ability. But what you can do with Deoxys speed is you can run max HP, and then you can run max offenses or max defense and max special defense, and you can become super tanky because of that HP investment. Versus Deoxys defense obviously is very slow, extremely slow, which is fitting because all of them are min-max to an extent, which I really like. Again, base form is actually not stronger than attack form. You might be thinking, doesn't versatility, aka Protean, make Deoxys base form stronger than attack form? That is not the case. 180 offenses with access to Neuroforce does much more damage than just having stab on everything. Obviously, base form still has its use. Also, versatility fits him really well, given the fact that he's like the one that changes forms, he's the balanced one. While attack obviously has proficiency, which is essentially beast boost. So Deoxys attack can get an attack or special attack boost depending on your EV spread. You would have to min-max your EVs a lot to get a speed boost. It would be something stupid, like if you got like for example, a timid nature, a jolly nature. Oh yeah, it's actually impossible. Never mind. Yeah, you literally, unless you had shitty ass IVs, like, yeah, you would need to do some stack attack and vanilla bullshit where with like the fucking 20. Yeah, you would need like really shitty IVs and special attack to get a speed boosting proficiency set, and it's not really worth it anyways. You could, but not worth it. Regardless, though, incredible ability. Obviously, you can just start snowballing out of control. You use that slow pivot into your Deoxys attack. You get it 1 kill. Now you're got +1 attack or special attack. The beautiful thing about this ROM hack is you not only do you have access to infinite usability capsules to switch your spreads around for specific boss fights, you also have EV items, so you can change your EV spreads at will. So, one fight you can run max attack with proficiency, next fight max special attack with Neuroforce, next fight you get defense form with regen, then next fight resilient with weakness policy. There's so many things you can play around with. It's awesome. And yes, resilient is essentially filter. It's actually better than filter and solid rock because something like mold breaker cannot bypass resilient. So that just makes Deoxys defense even tankier. Obviously, regen is a little bit better for most purposes, but resilient still has its use, especially for specific boss fights if you need to live a certain hit, because there are some powerful ass fucking attacks in this game, and you need some good ass defense to accommodate for that. Obviously, these are legendaries, so they will be obtainable in the late game, but they are balanced for your use. So like, it's nothing overpowered. You can totally use them once you get access to them, probably in the ultra wormholes. And they're fucking sick, and I love them. I love Deoxys. Literally, like I said at the beginning, second favorite legendary next to Genesect. Incredible buffs and changes here. All kinds of moves they have. Another thing is that speed boost is kind of useless on speed form. The only time you would ever use speed boost is if you, number one, got super unlucky and you have like 0 speed EVs. Sorry, 0 speed IVs and like a minus speed nature, because then you hit what, fucking like 277. So after then you can use abuse speed boost pretty nicely with max HP still. After 1 speed boost you outspeed everything again. But most importantly, speed boost is great for baton pass because of that good the solid HP and good defenses. You can run max HP. Baton pass is negative priority now, just as a balancing choice, but it's still really great on Deoxys speed with speed boost and something like stored power or nasty plot or calm mind or bulk up or swords dance or iron defense or all these other crazy fucking moves that you can baton pass around. So that's great with speed boost. Otherwise, you're using regen again for that fast utility. You can get hazards. Hazards in game are not very good. The only good hazard in game is toxic spikes, because the AI, if they don't have a poison type, if they don't have a poison type or a T-spike immune, their entire team is poisoned for free with 1 click of the move, and you can use Venoshock and stuff. But something like Stealth Rock is very, very niche in game. It's only really useful for breaking focus sashes or a couple of other specific things, like maybe breaking a sturdy or multi-scale or energy shield or whatever. So it's useful. That's why it's a tutor move. You can teach it when you need it, but it's not very good in game for the most part. Again, you have reliable recovery with recover for all of them, which is great on defense and speed specifically. Base form can also be pretty tanky. I mean, you can run Calm Mind or Bulk Up on him with versatility, and you got Drain Punch, you got Parabolic Charge, you got Giga Drain to heal yourself, you got Brain Drain, which heals you, and it's a physical move that works like Ring Out, so that's really strong. Again, just check out what all these moves do in the description down below. Like, there's so many little things I could talk about, but this video would be fucking 20 minutes long, and old me would have said that's fine, but I'm trying to keep this a little bit shorter to, keep audience retention up and get more subs and views. Speaking of, if you did like this type of video, you like these type of buffs and changes, this type of analysis, please make sure you subscribe if you have not already. There's all kinds of really awesome videos just like this one on my channel, and most importantly, you can check the Google Sheet down below and look at all the buffs and changes in this ROM hack because they are all very extensive. So yeah, I appreciate you listening this far. There's a couple more things I could mention. Again, that 120 speed, if you go to the speed tier guide, it's great, but there's a lot of things that are faster than you, not to mention priority is everywhere in this hack. So it's still not very difficult to deal with hyper offensive bullshit like this. If they're under Psychic Terrain, that's a different story. Psychic Surge is kind of crazy. Also, I just realized I forgot to give them Interstellar, which is a trainer's only ability that's like gimmicky little... Oh, fuck. You know what? I'm going to give it to them anyways, and I'm not listing that shit. It's going to take way... I don't want to reformat all this, man. Yeah, I'm gonna list them as Interstellar. They'll have it, but it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna list it. I don't give a fuck. Maybe base form can have it. I don't fucking know. It doesn't matter. Point is, that's about it. I could talk about every little thing. Like again, they have a covers move for literally every type in the game besides Dragon, and that's insane. You can just hit everything super effectively whenever you need, which is why Neuroforce is great. By the way, Neuroforce with Expert Belt, for example, is a 1.56 boost now because Expert Belt is 25%. So slap that on your Deoxys attack. You got that 180 offenses. You kill fucking everything. You don't even need the accurate. Like you can use fully accurate, like weaker base power moves, and you can still kill everything. So yeah, keep in mind though, there is priority. There is a lot of other ways to, it's not as overpowered as you might think because it is hard to get on the field. Keep in mind this ROM hack is balanced for Nuzlocks, so if you're not doing a Nuzlock, yeah, you can sack everything and get your Deoxys attack and revenge kill everything, sure, but that's not what I'm balancing this for. I'm balancing this so that you're supposed to keep your Pokemon alive, and that makes it a lot harder to use revenge killers like Deoxys attack and stuff because of how frail he is. Although, again, you've got slow pivots and slow parting shot on Alamon, so yeah, great Pokemon nonetheless. I'm going to leave the video off here. I think I covered everything pretty well. So thank you so much for listening, everybody. And I'll be back for more, but that's it for Hoenn for the most part. So thanks everybody for the support. Again, make sure you subscribe if you have not already. I'm trying to get to 900 subs soon, so hopefully y'all can get me there. And thank you. Goodbye.